And Donald Trump just illegally, unconstitutionally, and flagrantly started World War III that will result in incalculable deaths of American soldiers. For what? For who? Whose side are you on, Donald Trump?
Is this in any way fulfilling biblical prophecy here?
Well, a lot of people, John, are pointing to Ezekiel 38 and 39, the war of Gog and Magog. They see that alliance shaping up between Russia and Iran and Turkey, three nations that seem to be mentioned. Now, in these interesting times in which we live, we see Russia, Iran, and Turkey coming together at Israel's doorstep.
And the king of Persia will threaten to destroy the entire world. The nations of the world will be outraged and panicked. They will fall on their faces and will experience pains like birth pangs. Israel, too, will be outraged and in a state of panic and ask, where do we go? Persia has always been and is very clearly Iran. There's no question about that. Iran, by the way, is not at all Arab. They are Muslim, but they are not ethnically Arab. It is predicted that in the end of days, there will be a war, which some people, which seems to be the war of Gog and Magog. And one of the aspects of, one of the characteristics of the war of Gog and Magog is that it's going to be multinational. It's going to be an all-encompassing multinational war focused on Israel.
Iran does not intend to engage in war with another country, saying our borders are our red line. Any enemy that violates them will not return and will be destroyed, but saying Iran is ready, Robin.
The president delivered an unmistakable threat to Iran's leadership, tweeting this morning that any attack on the U.S. will be met with, quote, great and overwhelming force, and in some areas could result in, quote, obliteration. The comment's a direct response to Iran's president saying that the mixed messages coming from the White House suggest a, quote, mental disability. As CNN's Boris Sanchez reports for us now, neither side is showing any signs of backing down.
President Trump insisting Iran takes his threats seriously.
Do they take your threats seriously now, Mr. President?
I think everybody does.
Iran's foreign minister said today that Tehran would defend itself against any military or economic aggression. Javad Zarif spoke on a high-profile visit to Baghdad. Our Roxana Saberi is there.
As the U.S. prepares to send more troops to the Middle East to counter what the Pentagon says is a heightened threat posed by Tehran, a top commander of Iran's Revolutionary Guards taunted the U.S. today, describing its presence in the region as its weakest in history. On a visit here to Baghdad, Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif sounded more diplomatic, but equally defiant. He said, we'll face any effort for a war against the people of Iran, whether it's military or economic, with steadfastness and force.
I think it now needs to be clear to Iran that there will be consequences.
On Thursday, the U.S. increased its presence in the region. U.S. troops with the 82nd Airborne Division arrived in Kuwait. An additional 3,000 are on alert and preparing to deploy to the region.
It's not a show of force. It's a reinforcing capability that we can employ not just in Iraq, but throughout the region.
Speaking to reporters off camera, Defense Secretary Mark Esper said earlier Thursday that there are indications militias loyal to Iran are planning further attacks.
Do I think they may do something? Yes, and they will likely regret it.
Everybody, right off the top tonight, we get to breaking news out of Baghdad and new images coming in. The United States confirming this evening that the United States launched an airstrike that targeted one of Iran's top military officials. The Department of Defense says the strike killed the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard.
كل عام وانتم بخير 201.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Doug Dunbar. Natalie Brand gets us underway with the breaking details from the Pentagon.
This strike was aimed at deterring future Iranian attack plans. The United States will continue to take all necessary action to protect our people and our interests wherever they are around the world.
You can see crude prices jumping this morning as tensions with Iran escalate. The U.S. killed Iran's top commander in a drone strike in Iraq. Seema Modi joins us now with a look at the reaction in the energy market. Good morning, Seema.
Good morning, Joe. And the U.S. airstrike and the death of Iran's General Qasem Soleimani is widely seen as one of the most consequential assassinations in the Middle East in recent years. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, vowing to hit back, saying, quote, harsh retaliation is waiting.
مداران عالم و مستکبران عالم به خصوص شیطان بزرگ و آمریکا بدانند ملت ایران به هیچ قدرتی باج ندارد.
Iran remains one of the most dangerous threats to the United States.
Iran's cruel regime wastes tens of billions of dollars spreading hate.